Hello, class. This is lesson 2. Lesson 2 is jam-packed. So I'm going to go through this in an efficient way. If you'd like me to go into more detail, I'd be happy to. I keep a lot of these videos a bit more on the concise side to allow for viewability. I find that if I go very long on these videos, I don't get as many students willing to watch them week to week. That makes me very cognizant of those of you who would like a more in-depth explanation on these things. So if there's something that I'm just glancing over that you'd like more information on, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to do so. This is a busy week as we have the two topics, business model and idea generation. So just coming up with that business idea. And then number 2, demand and competition, measuring whether there's interest in that idea and whether it's a highly competitive space. You'll have discussion boards on each of those topics, and then you'll have your project 1 and your first weekly reflection. So we'll jump in first to this prepare assignment. As part of this, you'll do a case study, case of the online business, where a group of students are trying to decide if they should launch an online business. If so, what should they, what model should they use? What product should they use? You'll go through a lot of iterations with this case. So a little fun-filled fact, this guy right here is named Rafa. He was my Elders Quorum president many years ago when I was at BYU, Idaho. And he's been part of marketing and promotional materials for a while. We used to give him a hard time about it. But that's neither here nor there. You're focused on the case of the online business. So you will read through this case. And again, this is part 1. We'll go through, there's many different parts of this case as we'll follow this group of students through a few different decisions. But for this, based on what you read in the case study, you will write an essay and you will make a recommendation of whether the group should choose a product first or a model first. Please note the wording on here where it says make a recommendation on what the group should do to choose a product. And then it says, pretend you're the 4th member of the group. And then right here, you get into the meat of it. Recommend that the group either chooses a business model first, right? Then brainstorm product ideas to fit the business model, or brainstorms a product idea first. So you are deciding on one or the other. Choose the product idea first or choose the business model first. And then present your argument for one or the other. Providing rationale for your decision is key. That's really where you're going to get into the meat of your essay. Is not just your recommendation, but how you're going to back that up. There's a lot of materials down here to help you with that. And then please ensure your essay is at least a half a page in length. Let me know if you have questions or concerns around that, but this will introduce you to the various business models that are available online and get you thinking about whether you would choose a business model or a product first for your business. Then you'll have a discussion board. I'm going to go into this one. I won't go into all the instructions for the discussion boards each week because they are set up the same. You will have a proposal here from a previous student. And then you will write a post on whether you agree or disagree with this post. Make sure your post is significant, meaning it should be at least 75 words, about 4 substantial sentences or so. And then there's some additional guidelines there. Your follow-up post, you need to reply to at least 2 of your classmates. And there's some guidelines here. Now that is due by midweek, as opposed to the beginning of the week where your initial post is due. But this model for discussion boards will be followed consistently throughout the course. excuse me, meaning you have that initial post that's due early on in the week, then your response to 2 classmates is due in the middle of the week. Also due in the middle of the week is your second assignment. So let's jump into our second topic, demand and competition. In demand and competition, you will use a tool in Google AdWords to determine how many people are searching for your business idea or product, and that gives you an idea of whether or not there's demand for your product or service. To do this, you need to create a Google Ads account, and we will use the Google Ads keyword planner. These videos will help you create that Google Ads account. Then you will use the case of the online business part 2. As I mentioned, we'll have various parts to that online business to base another essay on. The difference is you will have an Excel component to this, and this is really the pattern we'll follow through the next few weeks. Is you'll have an essay, and then you'll have a quantitative analysis due along with that. So for the essay, you will give your recommendation on the 2 business ideas they have in the case study, which is a business around chess or a business around snowboards. And again, you'll need to support your recommendation with rationale, not just the recommendation. You'll need at least a half a page in length. So similar to the last assignment. However, the quantitative portion of this will give you further information to make this recommendation. Let me just show you what we have here. The keyword planner in Google Ads will give you these monthly impressions for any keyword. Now this example shows ukuleles and guitars. You will be doing chess and snowboarding. And you'll choose a variety of keywords that have to do with chess, a variety of keywords that have to do with snowboards. And then the keyword planner in Google Ads will tell you the monthly impressions for each of those searches. That gives you your demand information, how much people are looking for this. You'll also have a competition rating that the keyword planner will give you. And that tells you how many other companies are out there doing the same thing in those keywords. So that gives you overall information to say, hey, this is a very competitive space, right? There's a high competitive rating or there's a low competitive rating. Not a lot of people are doing this versus how many people are searching for it. The sweet spot is high demand and low competition. That doesn't exist for every product or business, but that's really the ideal. So please reach out if you have questions on that. You do need 10 keywords in the ranking for each, so on each category. So that's 20 keywords total for full credit on the quantitative portion of this. Let me know if you have any trouble accessing the keyword planner or coming up with those keywords. You'll have your discussion board, follows the same format. An initial post by a prior student that you can agree with or disagree with, and then from there you can write your response. Your responses to your classmates will be due by the end of the week. Only 2 items left on this one. Project 1, choosing a product. I won't go into a ton of detail on this because you have videos for each section of this project. I will show you this example of the project and point out something important. You have this initial page, and this is where a lot of effort will be placed. You'll have your business ideas here, type of business model, a sample keyword from that, and then a lot of demand and competition information, things we're doing this week for the assignments. Now recall that this project isn't due this week. It's due in week 3, but you'll want to get started on it now. Project 1 is one of the more time-intensive projects versus the other ones. But please don't forget, I find this on occasion, students will forget to do the subsequent pages. They'll just do page 1. There are numerous pages to this, and that's why you have different videos on each of these pages how to fill this out. So again, I won't spend a lot of time on this because I won't repeat what's been done in these videos that have been very well done by a fellow instructor who oversees the course. But you'll have a video on each of those tabs to fill out. And it's a really, really neat tool that allows you to rank very specifically all of your business ideas based on the various factors that should go into that. So project 1 is definitely more time intensive than other projects, but really, really beneficial. It's fun to see. And then finally, your weekly reflection. You'll have one of these each week. Go ahead and create a blog. This one can be free. Your website that you'll need later on needs to be purchased, but this blog can be separate. It is meant to be just a free blog on any platform you want. Wix, Weebly. There are a lot of different free blog services out there, and you can choose any of them. What's important is that you get that post up there and active every week, and just reflects on the things you learned. This is free form. You can take it however you'd like to go. Make sure it's at least 150 words in length, and then you will paste the URL where it's posted, and then you will copy and paste the actual blog content as well. And so if you've included both of those things on your weekly reflection, then you'll receive full credit. So that's it. Again, a longer week than others. I hope to be a little bit more efficient with these videos in the future, but want to make sure everybody had a good feel for what was coming this first week. Thanks, everybody.